Welcome to our Leadership, Building and Maintaining a Strong Culture. This is part of our eBit series, of our e-learning series. The eBit series is tidbits of our e-learning. This is up to 15 minutes just so you can review and help think of your next steps. We obviously have our e-webinars, which are 60 to 90 minutes, and we have our e-workshops, which are 1 day or multiple days of learning. So let's move forward. So let's speak about leadership, building and maintaining a strong culture. Let's define what leadership is. Leadership, by its definition, is a practical skill encompassing the ability of an individual or organization to lead or guide other individuals, teams, or entire organizations. Culture, which is what leadership builds, is a positive workplace culture improves teamwork, raises the morale, increases productivity and efficiency, and enhances retention of the workforce. Job satisfaction, collaboration, and work performance are all enhanced. When we speak about culture in this eBit series, we're speaking of a positive culture. Obviously, there could be a negative culture, but true leadership wants to drive a positive culture. Finally, servant leadership, which is the leadership philosophy that we teach and we believe in, is a leadership philosophy in which the main goal of the leader is to serve. This is different from the traditional leadership where the leader's main focus is the thriving of their company or organization. Now, let's take a step back. A servant leader definitely wants their company to thrive, but they believe that it's through servant leadership that this is the best way to obtain it. Mission, vision, and values. So in speaking about culture, well, it starts and ends with the mission, vision, and values of an organization. And it's very important that everyone understands this. So building and instilling the company mission statement is very important for all leaders because the mission statement is your reason for existence that you're telling your customers, your potential customers, your partners and vendors, and all employees. Now, a vision statement is internal facing, but it's there to give a big, large goal for all employees to know what the ultimate vision is. And the vision statement is usually 3 to 5 years out, and it includes what's called a BHAG, where the BHAG comes from the book Good to Great, and it's a big, hairy, audacious goal, something that is really a little stretching, but something for everyone to thrive to. We must remember that values are what you live by, and principles are values and actions. So if you say your values are trust, respect, and whatever the corporate values are, they become principles when they become automatic. So let's talk about a story of an organization named I2R, Integrated Resources. Well, this company was built on the foundation of their values and their principles. Every decision that they have points back to their values. Every new hire that they hire is measured against those values and the principles. So they make sure in their hiring ads, in their job placements, that it speaks of their mission and their values and principles and the role that they're hiring for. The company also showcases the values and principles prominently on their website. Their values are demonstrated throughout the organization. The company empowers their employees through their principle statements. So each employee knows how they're empowered for their each individual role. And the values are driven from the top down and the bottom up. And then it becomes infectious. So if you looked at the website of I2R, they actually place prominently their principle statements. I'll give you a moment to read through these. But understand that once you place these principle statements on your website, you're making a commitment to everyone who reads them. Every customer, every potential customer, every vendor, every partner, every employee or potential employee. You're saying to your customers, here's what we live by, and we want you to hold us accountable to this. And you're telling your employees, we just told our customers that we will live by these and we want to be held accountable. So as you as an employee how do we need to empower you that we make sure that we live these to our customers? It's very important and very powerful. So what are some of the keys to driving that culture? We've all may have heard the term hire slow and fire fast. Well, it is very important that you have a process in place and not just one that when you need to hire, you quickly go out and hire. In fact, we believe the best organizations never stop hiring. And that really means that they always have their hiring process in place, that they always have potential candidates. So they build a hiring plan that makes and enables them to hire smarter. They showcase their mission very prominently, not only on their website, but in their hiring ads and their values and principles. In fact, their hiring ads may say, here's the mission of our organization, here's the values and the principles that we live by daily, and here's the job in which we're hiring for. If you think that this is for you, please apply. So you're showcasing to any potential some employee that wants to get hired that culture is very important. But also when that person comes in, have an assessment process in place that matches to ensure that that employee matches your culture. Have a questionnaire at the time of the interview for the applicant. I used to have a questionnaire that was just 10 questions that I would go out and introduce myself to the person coming in for an interview. I would tell them I'll be back for you in 5 minutes, but please fill this out and then I'll come get you. And that questionnaire would test if they researched our organization, if they knew our mission, if they knew our values, if they knew what industry we were in, or who were our potential competitors. And then through the interview process, have preset questions for the interviewer. And then have a scoring system because you want to compare for the other people that you have interview that person. But dive deeper on your questioning and test, this is the time that you test to match how their assessment came out, if the assessment is accurate or if they told you what you want to hear. My final thing is to hire character and train skills. There may be sometimes someone that you say, man, they can make a big impact with our organization, but if you have any inkling that they have bad character, you need to caution yourself because bad character will always show itself. So the next steps in the process, you have your employees. Well, you want to get professional. And we say get professional, we mean to create and develop employee professional development and goals through a development plan. Have goals and skills and knowledge that they must learn that helps them achieve within their role. And those goals must be challenging yet achievable. They must tie to their skills, their development, and knowledge to achievement. And when we talk about goals, you may hear the term SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So everything must have a time that you achieve it by. But we also teach them how to tie their personal with their professional. So it's okay to know their personal goals and help them attain them because their professional goals will help them obtain their objective. But with that and with the employee, build an action plan that has each thing tied down by the SMART goals. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to learn these skills from this person. I'm going to learn this knowledge from this book. Whatever it may be, tie it very specifically. And remember that it's a two-way process with the employee buy-in. Usually we ask the employees, let's please fill this out or tell us what you think your goals or skills and knowledge are. And then we work with them on saying, well, here are some additional, or here's how I think you can build these. But if you just tell them what their development plan is, then they don't have that buy-in. They must be a part of it. And then mentor and coach daily. Be aware of what their development is. Point out where they're improving, and then work with them where they need it. One of the biggest things that I push on is to have an honest review process. In fact, when I work with organizations, we would always take our review process and not tie it to pay raises. That way they can be as honest as possible instead of that person thinking that you affected their pay or that leader that is hesitant to be as honest or factual because they don't want to affect that person's pay. So we always did our pay based on development. But the honest review process, we always recommend just having a 1, 2, 3 process. 1 is does not meet standards, 2 is meet standards, and 3 is they exceed standards. But within our high culture, when we hire people, we would always let them know that you're being interviewed because you meet our high standards. We believe you do. And we have high standards here, which our high standards are always a 2. Meeting our standards is meeting high standards. So we would always communicate that when it comes time for review, a score of a 3 is rare because 2 is meeting high standards, that to exceed, it's something that you're exceeding outside of your role. 2 equals our high standards that we set, and we would always have the employee do a self-evaluation. And then we would meet and we would compare. Now, if it's the first time, usually it's going to take some pushback because that employee still has a habit of maybe trying to give themselves 3s in their areas. And we would say, stand our ground and educate them. No, you meet standards here, which is very good because we have high standards. And that is the time where you demonstrate that if you want to score a 3, here's what that means. And I'll give you an example. I had a person who was very, very, very well versed, and we hired him to write grants. And where it came to knowledge of grant writing, he gave himself a 3. And his argument was, no one knows grants like I do. My response was, I agree with you, but I would not have hired you if you didn't have the knowledge that you have. And that meets my standards. However, to earn a 3 in this area, here's what that means. I need you to find money out there from feds, from state levels, from programs that we're unaware of that can alter our business. So that next year, the individual went and did exactly as described and doubled his amount of grants coming in and earned a 3. Here is an important topic that I always speak to, and I speak to this when I'm interviewing, when I'm hiring, on day 1 of someone's employment, and then I over-communicate it throughout their employment with our organization. And that is a topic of self-accountability. I let every employee know that I expect self-accountability, that they take a personal interest in their own development, that they understand our mission and our values, as well as strategic initiatives, that they learn how they can align their self-development that would help each of those items advance. And I teach that because I tell them, then when I have money to invest in someone's development, you've demonstrated to me that you're an easy choice. At times when it's for promotion, you've demonstrated to me that you're a candidate that's reliable. But I also recommend that they implement accountability plans where they choose another peer as a partner and they hold each other accountable. And they meet 5 to 10 minutes once a month. They have a simple document as an accountability partner that when they meet, they have 3 things that they measure each other on. What one item did they develop on for personal development? What one item are they going to do for professional development? Read a book, learn a skill, gain some knowledge. And then what one item do they want to achieve that has a measurement on? They learn to hold each other accountable, push back, especially if the same item is there month after month. And they learn and they coach and they become mentors to each other. So here it says have an accountability partner and a peer, which is usually a peer. Create an annual or biannual plan, but first to start with the monthly plans. But in the development, make sure that they're SMART goals, that they have an action plan, that they educate and they hold each other accountable, and that they mentor each other, and that they teach leadership and employees to do the same. So we would have this for every individual employee. Very important and very impactful. And this is why we say it is in the moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. And that's why the great Tony Robbins We want to thank you for attending. If you'd like to email, our email is mark@markvillarreal.com. If you have questions about additional courses, you can send that to contact@markvillarreal.com. My website is markvillarreal.com. My phone number is listed there. And please subscribe to our YouTube, which this will be posted. But as we create new tidbits or other e-learnings or educational videos, you will be notified as well. So please, thank you very much and have a good day.